Presenting to a camera is very different than presenting in person. And yet there are a few quick tips you can learn to ensure that your presentation comes off very confidently and effectively. Since it's much easier to show than to tell, I've created this very short video for you to really quickly gather those tips. And the first, we'll just jump right into it. Number one is focus on the position of the camera. Make sure that when you see yourself and you see a profile. Now notice you can see my shoulders, you can see my chest, my head is towards the top of the screen. So none of this floating head look, right? You can also see the wall, you're not looking at the ceiling. So you have a profile view of me. This camera's close to my face, about 1.5 feet, 2 feet away, so you can have it's not a wide range angle of all the distraction from behind me. That's number one position. Number two is posture. Notice that my shoulders are balanced, they're level. My back is straight, my feet are both flat on the ground. So I have this what's called executive presence, a balanced posture. I'm not leaning to either side. So ensure that you have this balance. My arms are also open, so I'm not crossing my arms in front of you. You can see how that closes me up even in the shoulders. Arms are open. What that also does is it gets a lot of oxygen to your lungs, so your voice is stronger. You also sound more confident and more relaxed. In terms of background, make sure the background is very simple. I have a picture, but that's nothing, right? Make sure it's clean, free of clutter. Pictures are okay, but be sure that there is no inappropriate things that you wouldn't want seen in the presentation, obviously. In terms of eye level, the camera is at eye level with me right now, which is why I'm looking at the lens of the camera as if I'm speaking directly to you. And the way I do this, I'm going to show you a picture of my background. You can see that what I've done is I've placed a bunch of books under my computer to get the camera near my eyes so that I have this straight background. This way we're looking at each other, straight into each other's eyes. It's not looking down or up, which would look weird. Notice also in this picture, there's a lot of lighting behind the computer. This is very important. Brightness is critical to ensuring the video comes out good and high quality. So what I've done is I've opened all the curtains, I've turned on all the lights. All the lights are facing my face. They're not behind me, right? So that you can see the shine off my face. Sometimes people put backlighting. Avoid backlighting. What that does is when light shines behind you, nobody sees the back of your head, right? It lights up the back of your head. But also it puts a shadow on your face because the camera will focus for the light behind you. It'll adjust for the light behind you. Also, if the light is in the picture, it can look very washed out or white spaces. I used books. You saw I used books to get the camera ahead. If you're standing, that's fine too, to make sure it's eye level. But most importantly, always be talking to the lens. Don't be looking down at your screen or your presentation slides because you can see my eyes aren't making eye contact with you. I mean, if I were sitting here reading notes the whole time, you'd be like, who is this guy talking to? So always look at the lens. If you've changed slides, you can look down to make sure the slide's good. Bring your eyes back up to face the camera. Now, when I'm speaking, so audio is very important and the quality of your voice, very important for recording. In fact, documentary directors will always say that the audio is often more important than the video because audiences judge the quality of what's being presented based on the audio more than the video. So when I'm speaking to you, obviously I'm still open with my arms, which makes my voice stronger, but I'm projecting to the back of this room. I'm speaking loudly. So even though the camera's only 1.5 feet in front of me, 2 feet in front of me, my voice is projecting. And it doesn't sound overly loud to you, does it? But I'm talking as if I were talking to a classroom. Make sure you have that strong voice, your audiences can hear you clearly, and they feel there's a much higher quality to your presentation. Finally, make it a conversation, right? We're looking at a camera lens, and you want to imagine you're really looking into eyes. And when you make it a conversation, there's an authenticity that comes to that. You notice my arms are moving very naturally because I'm just conversing with you. There's also assertiveness or confidence that comes with that, right? That you wouldn't get if you were reading notes or you were talking kind of like this at the screen, very subtle. So there's an energy there. So overall, if you really want to just see how video is done, you can just rewatch this whole video just to see how I present it here. And you'll see my arms move, you'll see how I present it, you'll see, even though I move a lot, my shoulders are still very poised, they're very balanced. And that's what you want to maintain. If you have any questions, email the Engineering Communication Department at activate@rice.edu. Again, activate@rice.edu. Good luck in your presentations.